Hello, good morning to my lecturer, Dr. Abu Bakar, and my fellow friends. My name is Alistair Yu Dik Yang, and my metric number is 194833. The purpose of this video recording is to fulfill an assignment requirement of one of my subjects, LHE 4210, Teaching of Writing Skills. This is assignment 2 on a lesson plan presentation. This lesson plan is about an expository writing, which is a cause and effect essay. So without further ado, I will proceed to the background of the lesson. The class that I have chosen is 2 Einstein, and the attendance is 25 students. The level of proficiency for this class is intermediate, and the duration for this class would take an hour. This is a non-textbook based lesson. The theme of this lesson is health and environment. And of course, the topic will relate closely to health and environment, which is the causes and effects of pollution. The writing strategies involved in this lesson would be brainstorming, drafting, revising, and editing. The students will have a prior knowledge, which is they know how to use sentence connectors, such as and, because, as a result, therefore. So before this lesson, the students have already learned about sentence connectors. Okay, so moving on to our learning objectives. Okay, there are 3 learning objectives for this lesson. So by the end of the lesson, the students will be able to write a series of sentences linked with sentence connectors. The students are also able to draft an expository essay with the help of mind maps. So through the help of mind maps, students they will know how to write an essay, and with the help of mind map to link up their ideas together. And lastly, the students will be also to present their drafts to the peers in the class. So when they are learning objectives, there must be also success criteria. Okay, so the success criteria would be based on the learning objectives. So the first success criteria would be students will be able to write sentences with sentence connectors with 85% accuracy. The reason of this success criteria is because the students have already learned about sentence connectors before this class. So for this class, they are going to apply how to use sentence connectors by writing an essay involving cause and effect. Okay, so next would be students are able to complete 90% of their draft in the mind maps. So mind maps will be a reference or a guideline for the students to make their draft on their essay. And the next one would be students will be able to present their drafts in proper English within 3 minutes. So proper English here means the students are encouraged to use fully English and not mixed improper English. So students try their best to use proper English, and they talk out their ideas within 3 minutes. Okay, the materials used in this lesson will be graphic organizers. So for the cross-curricular elements, there will be 2. The first one is environmental sustainability to instill environmental awareness. So the students will be able to learn how to take care of the environment and to be aware of what is causing the environment to be polluted, and they have to have values like responsibility to take care of our Mother Earth. So taking care of Mother Earth is very important because we only have one Earth and every one of us share. So it is our duty to let students realize that it is very crucial and important to take care of Mother Earth. So the higher order thinking skills for this lesson would be evaluating in terms of evaluating the effects of pollution on humans, animals, and also environment. So this requires students to think deeply, deep in thought regarding the effects of pollution. So the thinking process will involve mind maps and multi-floor map. And then the last one, the 21st century classroom teaching and learning strategies would be through presentation. Next, we will move on to the set induction, which is 5 minutes. Okay, so after the background of the lesson, there will be 5 different parts for the lesson, which is the set induction, followed by pre-writing stage, the writing stage, the rewriting stage, and last but not least, the closure. And I will also include the rationale behind all these stages after I explain each of the stages. Okay, so now we move on to the set induction. Okay, the lesson is started by the teacher enters and greets the class. Then the teacher draws 9 dashes on the board to fill a word pollution. Students take turn to call out a letter until the word is spelled out. So here it means that the teacher will play a game which is called hangman. So just to draw the students' attention to start the class, make the students settle down and let them be eager, to look forward to the lesson of the day. So after the word is spelled out, the teacher elicits from the students examples of pollution in the neighborhood. So the students will give their ideas and thoughts about what they understand about pollution. Do they see any pollution in the area that they live, or even when they go to school or wherever they are? Okay, then the teacher reveals the title for the writing lesson, which is the causes and effects of environmental pollution. We'll move on to the rationale for the set induction. Okay, the rationale for this set induction is to act as a warmer to attract the attention of the students to the lesson. Like I mentioned earlier, this will help to instill the interest of the students about the topic. Okay, this is just a simple activity to let the students prepare themselves for the writing lesson, so that they were able to focus well and try to engage and participate well in the lesson. Okay, the next stage will be the pre-writing stage. Okay, the pre-writing stage will take around 15 minutes. I will start the pre-writing stage by brainstorming. This is a strategy that is applied to the students. The teacher requests the students to form groups of 5. The teacher has the students brainstorm and jot down all the possible points that come to their mind about pollution. Students work in a team with a member to record the points. The teacher advises the students not to worry about eliminating points that may not be a good idea at this stage. So this means that the students, they just discuss and they write anything they think that is suitable about pollution, regardless whether they think it is a very good point or not a very good point. So this brainstorming strategy is important for the students to think and provide points to write the essay later. A representative from each team takes turn to present their points on the board. After that, the teacher discusses the points and then the student identify the causes and effects on environmental pollution on the points written. Right, after that, there will be a simple activity, which is the mind mapping. The teacher will distribute a blank mind map to the students. Working in a team, students group suitable items together under causes and effects from points gathered from the whole class. Okay, so the students are required to fill in the mind mapping from the points just now that the representative shared on the board. So the pre-writing differentiation strategies. For the intermediate students, the students will fill in the mind maps in teams. Okay, for advanced students who tend to be faster, to finish their work faster because they are better, so these students will finish their work ahead of the others will be required to fill in the multi-floor map as well. So the multi-floor map will be a teaching material which I will show at the end of the video. So the rationale for pre-writing is to help students to think of points about the topic, to expand their ideas, to enhance their thinking. And it will also help the students to plan their writing, organize their thoughts, and also pen down their ideas. Students are also allowed, and pre-writing will also allow students to build team spirit and improve communication skill. So since they're working together, it will improve how their teamwork and how they work with each other, and also the way they talk to each other. So now we will proceed to the writing stage. The writing stage will take around 20 minutes. First, the teacher asks the students to work individually and draft an essay on the causes and effects of environmental pollution. So when the students are doing their work, the teacher walks around the class and monitors their progress. The teacher skims through the draft and corrects grammatical errors and spelling. So when the teacher looks at their draft, the teacher can correct the spelling or correct some grammar errors that they have done in their draft. So for the differentiation strategies for this writing stage, for the intermediate students, the students draft the essay on their own and the teacher gives them guidance if needed. As for the advanced students, students who finish their draft first can proceed to read and comment each other's work. So those students who have finished their work first, they can exchange or swap their drafts with friends that have also finished their work, and compare, and give constructive criticism or give ideas or suggestions on how to improve their draft, to make a better essay. So the rationale for this writing stage is to tap into students' writing skills, allow the students to transfer the brainstorm ideas into a coherent text, and it also provides feedback and encouragement on the students' progress. After the writing stage, it will be the rewriting stage. So for the rewriting stage, it will take around 15 minutes. The teacher will start by selecting 2 good drafts for teaching revision strategies. So the teacher will choose 2 suitable drafts from the students and gives example to the students. The teacher requests the students to edit and revise the drafts. Students may now delete points that are deemed irrelevant or repetitive. Students may also add concrete examples, facts, details, or explanations. They can also substitute vague words with precise words or vocabulary. After that, they can rearrange the sequence of ideas or sentences to form paragraphs. Okay, the differentiation strategies for the rewriting stage for intermediate students is the teacher will give structured feedback as a guide for students to improve the drafts. Okay, so the teacher will give comments and suggestions to the students on how to make the draft better. As for the advanced students, the students will critique their work through peer review. In here, peer review means that the students help each other. They read each other's work, and then they point out what is the good points and what can be improved on. Okay, we will go to the rationale for rewriting. Okay, for the rewriting stage, it will allow students to edit and proofread their writing. So the rewriting stage is very important for students to check mistakes in their drafts, and also maybe to add what is not enough, maybe lacking of points or correcting errors in their drafts. The rewriting stage also ensures that the students are on the right track. Okay, rewriting stage will help the students to stay on track and not to be off track of their essay. And the rationale for rewriting can also enable students to revise their writing and improve their writing skills. Okay, next we will go to the closure. This closure will take around 5 minutes. Okay, so the teacher sums up the causes and effects of environmental pollution. Next, the teacher allows the students who have not completed their essay to do so at home and hand in the work the next lesson. Okay, the teacher closes the lesson by asking the students to collect articles regarding pollution from newspapers, magazines, or from the internet and display them on the class notice board to be read by their fellow friends. Okay. After that, the teacher will inform the class that the next lesson will be on ways to reduce pollution and encourages the students to think of how they can help to prevent or reduce pollution in the neighborhood. So since we have the causes and effects of pollution, it is also important to teach the students about how to reduce pollution or to prevent pollution, the ways, the methods that the students can follow or learn, okay, to curb pollution. The teacher thanks the class for the engagement in the writing activities. Okay, next I will go to the rationale for closure. Okay, closure is important for every lesson plan because it wraps up the lesson to reinforce the knowledge learned. Okay, so it is like a summary for the students to a recap for the students to understand what they have learned that day. The closure also helps the students to organize the information learned in a meaningful context. So the students will be able to remember what is being taught in the lesson for that day. And the closure also allows students to participate goals for the next lesson. Okay, now I will go to the teaching materials. Okay, so this showing on the slide is the mind map. So the main idea would be pollution. The supporting idea will be the causes, and the one in the circle, the details, will be the effects. Okay. So for example, the cause is open burning. So what are the effects? The effects will be open burning will cause haze, lung diseases, asthma, and also global warming. Okay, another example would be the cause. So the center main idea with pollution. So the cause is throwing rubbish into the drains and rivers. So what would be the effects? The effects that it will emit a foul smell, and sea creatures like turtles will mistake plastic bags as food, and as they eat them, they may get suffocated and die. Okay, so this will be the multi-floor map. Okay, the causes and effects of environmental pollution. Okay, so this is the suggested answers for the previous multi-floor map for the causes and effects of environmental pollution. Okay, so some examples are for the causes of environmental pollution is open burning, factory smoke, exhaust fumes, and the effects will be causing haze, lung diseases, and global warming. Of course, there are many more other examples. This is just a suggested answer. The students are free to give any types of pollution regardless of air pollution or water pollution and such and so on. Okay, so the last one would be throwing rubbish in the rivers will cause pollution and hence resulting in the death of aquatic animals. So I guess that is the end for my presentation for my assignment, teaching of writing skills LHE 4210. Thank you for your time.